is something that teams have done to clutch this tournament already. Like, if we're saying the 10-minute clutch Rift Herald, NA teams are saying it, all of the emerging regions come in and their opponents, they know this is the expected play.
All right, what's up, Giga Gamers? Welcome to the Strat Chat. We've got a macro Monday. We've got a treat for you today. We're going to be going over the NA Herald, the original plan, what we did with Clutch Gaming. We'll give you a little bit of backstory, what's going on, and hopefully a way to do it in your games. So, let's check it out.
Pilot left alone, catching a wave on the top side though. Clutch will start this one up, but for the Jinx, it will be a long way walking around to the rest of his team, and it looks like he can see.
They've just given it up. They've accepted that Clutch have control over the Rift Herald. They'll push out mid instead. Fight is starting here. Okay. It's hooked in. Armut on the front line. There's a lantern there for him to grab, but the equalizer comes down. Charge away from Armut. Jinx not there with the team yet. Rift Herald already secured by Lyra. So Clutch get what they want, but now Royal have the path down towards this Infernal Dragon.
Do Clutch actually want to go for the contest? They can drop the Herald mid, force them to react to the play. You see Jinx being split off once again. Pilot just defending. It will be the second Infernal Dragon, so not an easy decision to make, but Hook's on.
Only onto Vulcan. Rift Herald is going to charge in mid. Demonte, Seal has to flash away from him, and that should be a mid lane tower here for Clutch. You see the sequence of events. You see the decision making between these two teams. Do we fight for the Rift Herald? If not, we go for Infernal, but then we might lose our mid lane tower. They have been able to hold on to it for the moment, but Clutch have, because of those turret plates, got quite a substantial lead.
Still only 10 minutes in though, and we seem to still be in the laning phase. Clutch have decided not yet to swap their bot lane up towards top, but perhaps this is the opportunity.
This is the normal recall timing. You're going to see Vulcan leave early. Oftentimes, Clutch would do this. Vulcan would roam up, and Cody Sun would have teleport, so he'd walk bottom, and if there was a fight, he'd teleport up. Now the fact that they don't have teleport means they actually have to seed the bottom lane if they decide to do this, and based on the early pathing, it looks like they're going to do this, and then probably try and take plates top lane after the fact, trying to kind of attack Ananashek right here. But the fight, if matched by UOL, could very well go in their favor. This could dictate maybe even the rest of the game if there's a big fight.
That's the question. How close will this fight be? Rift Herald picked up. Sorry, Scutler picked up Ananashek quite low. Demonte going in. Noman's having to jump away. Lyra's down to about 300 HP, but he's still got the jump back. Here comes Huni in from the side, trying to take down that Rek'Sai. The rest of the Unicorns are on their way. Boss still pushing in top. Huni going forward. Can't quite catch onto the Rek'Sai.
And now he's over the wall by himself.
Boss going in. Huni no flash. Inax and Edward on their way. The Rift Herald has been started here by Clutch. Huni caught out the pop blossom. It's actually Inax who takes the kill. Rift Herald still the target here for Clutch. They always invest into this objective, but sometimes it can cost them a huge amount, and it seems to have been their bane this game.
No, I think that was a huge mistake by Huni to R over that wall, giving over the kill, because essentially Clutch Gaming did have a temporary 5v4 where they pushed Unicorns off of that objective, but because Huni basically jumps over the wall to donate a kill, it means UOL gain control over the situation and pick up a kill.
And there are some times when you can say a team's predictable playstyle is beneficial to them. They know exactly how they're going to do every step of the game. They've done it so many times over, but if we can predict Clutch going for the swap, Unicorns are going to have predicted it and prepared for it, and you could see that there.
Yeah, what I also find interesting though is if we look at the start of this play, look at where Inax's Heimerdinger is. He's actually not at the play, and Clutch has more people here with Cody Sun, but Cody Sun unable to actually get damage off, maybe about a half second off, and UOL just kind of pulls into a retreat, and right here is where Huni definitely should not have gone over the wall because his team is all trapped on Rift Herald. The rest of UOL was pushed into the jungle, so the natural thing is going to be for them to collapse and kill Huni.
In the end, nowhere he can go. Of course, didn't have his flash available. Now, Clutch Gaming once again setting up towards the Rift Herald. Huni is down towards bot without teleport. You can see Boss actually already coming up through the river, so they know if Clutch are willing to commit to the Rift Herald, Unicorns of Love were going to take that fight. And you have a lot of, strong team fighting tools from the side of Unicorns. Pop Blossom is there, you have a lot of damage coming out from the Tristana. A big Heimerdinger turret can do a huge amount of work when the enemy is grouped up. Here we go, fighting around Rift Herald once again. Unicorns of Love have started it, it's down to about half HP. Vulcan's going to use the grand entrance to get away, and the rest of Clutch are on their way. Huni on his way up, Boss no teleport. He's stuck down towards the bottom lane, and now the Rift Herald's going to pull back towards Clutch this time. They're trying to look for it to reset before Huni gets there, and that will be big for Clutch. They now know Huni's in the mid lane, and they can make this a 5v4.
Yeah, and also based on where Cody Sun is, Clutch Gaming's not in a position to actually get turret plates off of the mid lane, but because it's still prior to 14 minutes, the Rift Herald holds high value, and if at first you don't succeed, just keep running at Rift Herald. That's Clutch's motto, and I think they're going to get it.
I think they get it this time. Unicorns of Love said, okay, boss, you stay down.
Oh, Eddie, what are you doing?
Edward just face checked straight into them. That was That was a diabolical mistake. Inax trying to steal this across the wall, won't quite get it. And Anisit going in, but the smite was landed by Lyra. They'll pick up the Rift Herald, and now
Okay, so the things that we need to keep in track. So here's our team comp, all right? The things that we're going to be looking at are the start time. So freehand, let's go with, no, I don't want you to be blue. I want you to be red. So some important things. One is that starting at 2:30 and every minute and a half, we have cannons, okay? This is important because at 7 minutes, we're going to have a cannon. Now, things that are worth mentioning is that it's 7 here, and this one is about 7:12. So you're going to have a little bit of a lead in the wave getting to mid. It's going to show up, and then a little bit later, it shows up to the bottom lane just because of how much longer it is. So it takes the minions longer to collide. So this is important. This spawns at 8 minutes. So Rift Herald is at 8 minutes. Some other things to note is that level 6 tends to happen around 5:45, all right, at that wave for these lanes. It tends to happen at about 8:30 for these guys, and it tends to happen at about 7 to 8 minutes for the jungler, depending on how much shadowing you have to do versus power farming. If you do get to pick up a whole wave, it is possible to pick up level 6 a little bit sooner. But here's the important things. And you're going to hit 7. You're going to hit 6 making this play anyways. Here's the important factors. 7, there's a wave right here. 7:30, we want to go after this wave. 8, we want to be going after this. So here's the plan. As the jungler, all right, and most times we're going to be playing a lot of Bel'Veth. But here's the play. You're going to go gank this wave starting at 7 minutes. Together, you shove it in. And together, you come down here. Now, we said that 5:45 is when the solo laners have hit level 6, so something else they're going to come do. We're going to go, let's go grab this. At this play, we're going to grab this Renekton, move him over. He's going to recall. Syndra and Jarvan are going to come together down bottom with Renekton, and we are going to 5-man turret dive bottom, all right? So we've pushed in this wave quickly. Basically, it took us about the time, the extra 10 seconds that this wave arrives. So now we have some travel time, all right? We come down here. It takes about 18 seconds to roam down. Renekton is also trying. He would like to push this wave based on the fact that it's a cannon wave. But because it's a cannon wave, you can take this recall and go back, and you're not actually losing that much, right? Because if you've already pushed out the wave before, and the jungler can help. We can go through some iterations of this where basically Jarvan starts up top, helps to push the 6:45 wave before coming to mid to make this gank. But it's a little bit dicey for the timing. It makes the rest of the play a little bit late. So let's keep it basic for now. Jungler comes here at 7. Renekton recalls, lets the cannon soak up the turret, comes in, and we're going to go 5-man dive bottom at 7:30. Okay? So we're freehand. Let's see, another key time. 7, it's about 7:20 to 7:30 when this play happens, all right? We're going to go 5-man dive bottom. Now that we're here, we've got a couple of situations. One, our solo laners. For one, our solo laners are all down here, all right? And we're into a side wave, and that's fine. Our AD carry and support are down here, but they don't want to get gummed up. You don't want to have 5 people chewing on plates. So really what you're looking to do is take one plate. You can save the other one for the character that stays. You can even take Dragon if it's still up. But here's what we're going to do most times. Recall, 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 teleport. Okay? So now we've got this situation. Syndra's down here. She's going to be significantly stronger than the other 2 bot laners. All right. Also okay would be if Syndra had teleport to keep the Renekton down here. Again, these solo laners are level 6, probably level 7 against level 5 bot laners, which means that they are lethal. They can go get kills, especially if it's someone like a Renekton. Now here's what we're going to do. We're going to go back up straight through mid. We're going to push up mid again. At this point, we're looking at the 8-minute wave. After pushing this wave, we're going to rotate over. So here we go. Let's go freehand with this number. So then we recall. We come back here. This is a recall. Come back. We're going to push. And then we're going to rotate over to the Herald. Syndra's going to come join us, all right? She's been part of this play. She can come over, push that wave, clear the wave, and now we've got 4 people here, plus a teleporter available from the bot wave. Now, it's very important that you didn't teleport to this play, but you just recalled. Yes, we've given up a total of 2 waves, all right? One in mid wave went after we left, and one in top. And this was a cannon wave, and they probably got a plate, but that was almost a good thing because it locked their top laner in place. Now we've got teleport advantage. They can show up here if we need to. These players are going to go after Rift Herald. Now, once you get the Rift Herald, you want to make a strong play with all these numbers, all right? We're going to go get Rift Herald, and we're going to move forward. We're going to continue moving by diving up here now. All right, and we're going to take this top laner. The same one who got ahead potentially might even have a shutdown if they got a bunch of plates and a bunch of CS while we were gone. We're going to go 4v1, maybe even 4v2. Very rarely are they going to answer to get 3 people here, but still a totally playable move because bot lane was able to soak this extra wave and get the play down bottom. They're going to hit level 6. All right, so no worries about hitting level 6 here. You 4v2 dive. The Misfortune, it's important that Misfortune is the one that picks up the Herald because you want her to get that extra gold. When the team moves over, everyone's going to come over. You're going to hit the plates, starting with just 2 champions, all right? It's very important that after you get these kills that the jungler just leaves. The support just leave. You just move out, let the carries take the first plate. Then you come in to help with the second, and you drop the Herald to as you're starting the third plate. You get enough damage to hit that whole third plate down, and then Herald, boom, pops it. You're either taking the whole turret or you're putting it low enough where it's going to be a breeze to be able to take down whenever you want later in the game. You do want it to go down because we're going to want to put Renekton back up in this lane. So here's the plan. By this point, we're looking at about 9 minutes into the game. This turret's gone. And from here, we go and we reset and we put our mid lane down at bottom because it's going to be a shorter lane, right? There's turrets on both sides. Renekton's going to come back top because this turret's gone. We want Renekton to be in the longest lane. Also, we want Syndra to be a little bit closer to the dragon fight since Renekton's still the one that has their teleport. And we're going to move over our bot lane to here. By this point, all of Jarvan's camps have respawned. Very easy for him to go pick up whichever camps he wants. Now, some tips and tricks to make this happen. We already spoke about a little variation, which was to come top a little bit earlier, all right, and handle that 645 wave, all right? Really, it's 640. Pushing it by 645, you're coming out. Also, if you start red, then R2 is going to be spawning, all right? You're going to be spawning 5 minutes later. So 645, you've already pushed this wave. You can come collect your red buff. This is important because red buff is the best one for dives. It keeps you healthier. It makes sure that you can take damage. You can take aggro, hold aggro with the burn, and move over. So we've got step 1. Come over here, step 2. Mid, step 3. Step 4. Recall, we'll call step 5. Push, step 6, step 7, step 8, and back in our jungle. And that's your play. All right. It looks pretty convoluted. Starts at 6:45, ends at 9. It's about 2.5 minutes to get it all done. And in that time, if you do things well, you're talking about 5 plates, 6, 7, potentially a dragon, 7 plates. You can get the dragon depending on how many kills you get. We'll put this in parentheses. Herald, extra gold bonus there, and a better rotation. All of it done in a 2.5 minute span. Those are all the goals. This is completely illegible. But there you go. That's the play. So we're going to try to get some of that action in. If you want to try to do it with your Clash team or do it with your friends, that's great. Show them this play. Show them the steps. From front to back, right? Jungler starts at red, makes it more plausible, so you can get extra action out of this. And yeah, that's it. If you guys want help or can give a special discount to anyone that's coming, so put a comment in the comment section. If your team wants to work on this, we're going to do half off for any team that wants to go over it and actually do a practice with this. So gigagamingacademy.com. We'll have a special code for you in the comment section or in the description below. Check out that code, use that with your team, and you can come by and learn this whole thing together. And trust me, it's a ton of fun. When you guys do this as a team, when you make a play like this happen as a team and you're directed, I think it's super enjoyable. It's peak League of Legends. So back in 2019, Clutch was a D tier team. Let's be honest. They were last place in the spring split. They were struggling. They tried to build around Lyra, and they were having some ego issues with Lyra not gelling with the rest of the team as far as what they wanted to do. So we met with Toby Kwan, the GM of Clutch, and we basically scripted out this play. It was a little bit different back then because Herald didn't spawn until 10 minutes, but it meant that your bot laners are going to be level 6, much easier. They can be level 7. So Ashe and Jhin types were very prominent at Worlds that year as the NA Herald took over. So Clutch was the first one to start using it. They start winning games. They end up qualifying as the third place team. So they go from last place to third just by having a better use of the Rift Herald that split. And going into Worlds, no other region was really doing it. But that was the best year that NA's ever had in play-ins and group stages. And basically it was, the casters just kept calling it NA Herald. Well, this is where it was. This is where you learned it. You're hearing it straight from the horse's mouth. Everyone eventually adapted to it, and by the end of the tournament, you're seeing every AD carry was playing with a supportive role, someone that could long range from mid to support this fight, and some teams were bringing 5 people to Rift Herald, and there's a lot of variations that go into this based on what happens. Now, I will give you a little teaser. Some of the best responses you can do against this strategy, all right, is AD carry stays bottom, +4. All right, so we call this the box and 1. Box +1. The +1 being down here, they just stay. Basically, everyone has left their lane. If the Renekton is joining the fight, you just soak up. You soak up here, and you look to just hold that by yourself if they're bringing 5. Now, if they bring 4 and they leave the Renekton, you can't really do this. You need to keep the support around to be able to counter the Renektons engaged to make sure that your AD carry just isn't getting melted. Level 7 versus level 5. Some adaptations based on this, right? If they're keeping 2, Renekton might just be strong enough to beat them anyways, especially if you got that dive off the first time. B, if they leave 2 people down here, then you can go ahead and leave. If you're the Renekton, that's fine. They kept 2 people down. You stayed. You collect the wave. You can start coming back up to the top wave to help with that dive and to be in the right position following it up. You also have availability with the teleport, so you could just push this wave and then look to teleport into the fight. So a lot of variations there to combat the 1 or 2 people staying in bot. Now, the other option that they can do, they can say, all right, you're going to go get Herald. We're going to send 4 champions. We're going to come send 4 champions your way. We'll use Shen to hold back, and we're actually going to take everybody else, and we are going to dive your bot line. All right, we'll take this right here, and we'll just jam it right at the Renekton, and we will counter dive. So we're going to match your 4v1 dive up in the top lane with a 4v1 dive in the bot lane. Shen's going to step back. He might even dive. We may go 5v1 to kill the Renekton and let you go 4v0 in the top lane. We're going to get the net benefit out of that because a lot of times, again, Dragon is going to be up for this iteration, so we'll be able to collect that as well. But also, we're getting a kill in exchange, whereas you're not killing our Shen, or you're not killing whoever else is up in the top lane. So that is another way to combat it. Again, Renekton can do it. Recognize that they're keeping numbers down here, then you have to back off, okay? So there's a bunch of iterations. Hope you guys enjoy it. We're going to put it into practice now live on stream. If you want to check it out, twitch.tv/GigaGamingAcademy. Come say hi. And without further ado, let's get into it. Oh, one more thing. Best champions to do it with. All right. The absolute best champs. Belveth is number 1. Let's open you up. Can we open this up? Belveth. All right, no, it's just going to go like this. Ziggs. We were talking about top laners that can support tanks. Basically all tanks are going to be solid at all stages for this. Extra divers, Twisted Fate, Heimerdinger from the support position. We've got Ivern / anyone who can add, right? Anyone who can put extra adds onto this, especially since you're breaking turrets quickly. You're looking for the ability to get turrets down low so that Ziggs can finish them off. In the case that we listed up here, you don't even need to wait for the Rift Herald. You can just drop it because Ziggs is going to be able to execute the turret at its lowest amount anyways. Which other champions were we looking at? These are pretty much the best ones. Ziggs, Twisted Fate, Heimerdinger, and Belveth are fantastic for this set. Anyone who can help with the dive, anyone who's got long range engage or the ability to like grab aggro and drop it like a Maokai. You have Volibear that can turn off turrets. So a lot of different characters can be good here, but Belveth, Ziggs, Heimerdinger being the very cream of the crop at their position. It also lets you do some cool things like Ziggs. Heimerdinger is just a fantastic pushing lane. They never get to breathe in bot wave, and often this first step can result in a turret as well, right? So you can actually end up with a 10-plate play based on how well Ziggs and Heimerdinger are doing in the bot wave. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you like this video, please consider liking and subscribing. It helps the channel out a lot. I'll catch you guys next time. Keep it surreal. Peace.